From the deep, dark reaches of Star Trek Online comes Nikitas, Tabbytha, and Greebog with another episode of Fleet Action Report.
Welcome to Fleet Action Report, the show where we don't just play the game, but we teach you how to play the game.
Over there is Nikitas, over here is myself, Tabbytha, and up there is absolutely Greebog.
Absolutely. This is episode 152, Flagships Galore. So, yeah. I guess there's no guess. This is us. And we should, I guess, delve into...
Suppose?
Yeah, I suppose. Here, we'll go with Tabby. How has your week been? What have you been up to?
I'm making the best out of being in the middle of toxic fumigation from Canada, because I'm in the middle of New York, so I'm getting all that lovely nastiness. But I've had to cancel a couple of the streams for the a couple of my TFP streams because of it. But other than that, not a lot. Just still continuing to rest and recover from my surgery. That is going very well. And aside from that, not much really. Looking forward to some really exciting things later in the next couple of weeks and the rest of the month. But that's an another show.
Yes, it is. I guess I'll jump in here next, unless you want to tag somebody different.
Go.
Okay.
I choose you.
Diablo 4. I have been playing a lot of Diablo 4. I've actually been neglecting the other games I've bought recently for that one. I haven't even been on Tears of the Kingdom a whole bunch. It's basically been Diablo 4. Especially when I figured out how to actually get my horse on there so I can run around even faster. So yeah. Griefbach, what about you?
I'm still playing WoW, so I've done a fair amount of that. I have gotten my second character geared up to the point he is competitive in DPS to my first character. Granted, my first character is normally tanking, but with Mythic Pluses and whatnot, we have too many people that can tank, normally wanting to run the dungeons, so I opt to DPS a lot. But yeah, so my paladin now is doing the same amount of damage at 10. He was 10 eye levels behind my DK. So that was, I don't know what to say about that.
Paladin is awesome, man. It's one of my favorite classes in that game.
Typically, Paladin is always has become my second go-to for a tank / DPS class. Yeah. I use Paladin as my backup tank. So if they were to ever trash Blood Death Knight, I have a backup. But so far they haven't done that, which is probably good. Outside of WoW, because this is not WoW, I've actually kind of been chilling a little on the STO side. I mean, I've done things. It's just some more of it was to deal with or getting things ready for show stuff or other things. I didn't necessarily do as much as I normally had been doing in game. But let's see, what else? No D&D recently because people were out of town doing stuff. There's not going to be a D&D game this weekend because also people out of town out of town doing stuff. So I'm going to go through withdrawal and yeah. And I too am dealing with the Canadian wildfire smoke invasion. I do hope all those in Canada are being safe, doing well. I if the smoke is so bad that it's being pushed into the US like this, it is gotta be horrible up there. So all you Canadians stay safe, because I'm worried about you. But yeah.
Actually,
That's
that was in the notes.
yeah, I was like, I wanted to make sure, that was said, because that was wildfire. Good news, there's been like the US, a bunch of wildfire firefighters have gone up to assist. I also heard a report that Australia and New Zealand are sending a bunch of their wildfire firefighters as well to assist. So they are getting, I guess Canada is getting invaded by wildfire firefighters, which is probably good. Sounds like they need them.
I'm certain the help is appreciated.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Well, it's already burnt 15 times more land area than they have normally on an average year. So,
we do have a lot of notes about things going on in STO. So are you guys ready to move on?
Sure.
Several big announcements here, but we're going to let Tabby open the floor on this one.
First up, the timeline needs you. From June 8th to June 29th, you can create a temporal agent recruit. Once you have, these are special characters that you can create from the TOS era. Once you've gone far enough into the tutorial that you've gotten your temporal device, you can just kind of chill out for the rest of the event if you want to. You have no more time limit on completing the requirements. Many of the unlocks from your recruit are account-wide. They have new goals that are retroactive to recruits that you made previously. And during the event, all TOS-themed items in the Zen store will be 30% off. Now, this will run until June 15th.
So the event actually runs to the 29th, but the sale ends halfway through on the 15th.
Okay, my bad.
Sorry, the notes weren't written well. That's probably my fault. Sorry.
Yeah, so clarification, note of clarification, the timeline, the temporal agent recruit event runs from June 8th, which is today, to the 29th. You can create them right now. I literally just created one on my free-to-play account, and that goes all the way to the 29th. The Zen Store TOS item sale, that goes through the 15th.
Temporal recruits have the longest path to get to their device, because you have to get to Earth space dock back in the temporal time, or back in the previous, before you do your time jump, but still.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, but still it's not too long.
It's a lot longer than the other ones, though. The other ones, you just kind of run around a little bit, go to the holodeck, and boom, you get it.
True. Well, except for the Romulan deltas, they take a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
The next topic there is yours as well, Tabby.
Flagship Celebration event, also June 8th to June 29th. This is going to be part of your year-long event campaign. The reward from this particular one is going to be the Prime Beverly Crusher Holographic Bridge Officer, as well as an upgrade to your fleet support. And that's going to be a passive device that, when activating your fleet support ability, has your faction's flagship come to your aid. So in Greebog's case, on many of his characters, a more significant and important ship that will just run away and ignore him.
Yep.
In order to get that, you need 14 days of progress from your selection of 4 different TFOs: Borg Disconnected, Iuppiter Irratus, Swarm, and Synth Wave. All
right, so the next one's this is a big one, long one. Uh, advanced consoles and advanced batteries are it says coming to the next promo event. The next promo event started today. They didn't, 'cause this came from the 10 forward. I tried to jot down all the notes from the blog post they put and what they talked about in the 10 forward. So some of the rules are you can only have one profession type of advanced consoles. So only tactical or only science or only engineering. They are moving the Spire consoles, I would imagine also the Colony consoles, to being the advanced consoles. And then these new ones, they're adding in some engineering ones. But to get the materials, the new consoles are all crafted. To get the resources to craft them will come from elite TFOs or the promo R&D packs. So if you buy any of the promo packs this time around, you'll get some of the stuff to be able to make it. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Grumpy, for the raid. Good to see everybody. And
How's it doing, Grumpy?
Let's see. Can I remember the shout out thing?
Hello, Canada.
Hello, Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, colony consoles are not under the restriction? Okay. I knew that the Spire ones were definitely going to become the advanced consoles.
Hello, Lee Knight. Hi. Or Ice Knight. Sorry. Looks like
Grumpy just nicknamed himself from henceforth. He shall be known as the Grumped Nord.
The Grumped Nord. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, back to engineering and science are advanced consoles are coming in. They're going to be crafted. The crafting materials come from promo R&D packs and from elite TFOs. The batteries to craft the advanced batteries also resources come from the same source, the TFOs, the elite TFOs and the promo packs. But the consoles and the batteries will use different materials. So there's not meant to be a competition. Like if let's say you get a bunch of one of the materials, you don't have to go, oh, I want to make the batteries, but I want to make the console, and you have to pick and choose. And they said right now it's going to take roughly 10 elite TFOs to get enough to make one console. And because they're going to be about a 50-50 drop rate inside from the TFO. But yeah, it'll take 5 things to make one console. The materials drop will be based on which TFO you're doing. So if you are doing one specific TFO, you'll get the same material every time. And they did say, I believe it's all of the Borg ones, or all the initial, I believe it's all the initial Borg ones are the TFOs. I thought I wrote that down somewhere. They went through so much stuff in the 10 forward. But so on top of, so they're adding in also these advanced consoles will have modifiers on them on top of what I'm going to talk about. So there's 2 engineering types they're adding in first and 2 science types. And the one engineering will increase your weapon power and max weapon power. And like the max weapon power is like you'll be able to have a 500 weapon power cap, which seemed a bit insane. And the other engineering one is increasing your hanger pet weapon power, max weapon power, torpedo damage. And based on, it's going to be based on your pet's star ranking. And that you can only have it onto up to 25 pets. They put that limit in because, well, sometimes people get silly with pets and then it lags the servers or the map or, the science consoles, there's a shield siphon That upon kill grants analysis of drain that was active at kill. Yeah, and each attack on analysis increases shield, or each stack of the analysis increases the shield pin. So it's basically, if you siphon enough shields, you will get more and more shield penetration, and the stack does not reset until you leave the map. So the boost to EPG one does both damage for bridge officer and non-bridge officer EPG powers. So if you have consoles that have, give you EPG damage, or you're using bridge officer stuff that does if I can talk, EPG damage, it'll boost both of those. And it puts a cap of EPG up also to 500 as well. So that could be fun to see what happens there. And then the advanced batteries, there's one which is an energy amplifier, which does plus shield penetration. There's a target lock, which gives you crit chance. Hull patch, which will add to hull regeneration. Kinetic amplifier, which will give crit severity to projectiles. There's an exotic particle flood, which will give you more auxiliary power. For those that do EPG builds, know what that means. So, and shield resilience boost adds to the shield regeneration skill. So, those are all interesting. Let's see. They're going to try to keep these balanced. They said they may have to adjust these as they go, because initially they're tossing in something brand new, trying to basically, so you don't always have to have your 5 Spire consoles to be able to do insane numbers. They would like to see people be able to take a ship that has, like, let's see here. This ship probably has about 5. Oh no, it has 5 tactical. But like, if you had a 5 engineering, console slots, you could stack in 5 engineering consoles and do competitive damage. It will be interesting to see the numbers, see the builds that come out of all this. There is one thing that they did say to craft the batteries. It's going to require level 10 in the R&D to make them. I'm pretty sure they said that there was not going to be a requirement on level in R&D to craft the consoles, which I found interesting. And you're going to be able to make the consoles at Mark II if you want, or all the way up to, Mark 12. So I found that fascinating that they went ahead and made it so you can make Mark II versions.
I've got the advanced science console pulled up in my R&D right now.
Oh yeah, it's probably in game. I didn't even think to look already. Let's see, engineering. That'll be a good one. Advanced engineering console. But so you have 2 of them here. Hangarcraft power transmission is the one. The isomagnetic plasma distribution manifold. Where they got the name for this one was from Voyager. At least that's what they said. So, and as you can see, there is a advanced engineering console core isomagnetic plasma toroidal coil. That I need to be able to pick up, which will apparently come from elite TFOs or whatnot. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, what I like about this is it adds more flavor. I'm excited to see what comes out of this. They did also say that the consoles will be re-engineerable, which means if you get a modifier on your console that you don't want, you'll be able to re-engineer it to get the modifier on it that you do want. And so far, some of the examples they talked about were, yeah, have a good night, Pax. But they talked about phaser, like plus phaser damage. So if you wanted to stack all phaser damage, I'm sure disruptor, all the energy types are in there. They talked about plus EPG. They didn't really go into a lot of details about it outside of that, but that was the two mentioned so far. I'm sure if you anyone that's crafted these, you probably can already like stick it into re-engineering and it will have the full list. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about the consoles. This is going to be neat to see. I know, I think, was it JB set up a drain build, so the drain console might be up his line, or yeah, it'll be neat to see what people come up with all of this.
There's definitely going to be some interesting builds come out of it, and I mean there are I mean, everybody right now is using the exploiters and the locators. So it's going to be neat to see different builds. And I agree with that excitement. Plus, it gives a reason for people to run the elite TFOs, which before this, we've never really had a reason for it.
Yeah, I agree. They are not. So it was asked, are they then going to allow you to pug into or do a random group into an elite? And they said no. They do not want to do that because some people are just not ready for elites, and they would rather have a coordinated team go in, because the difficulty on elite is high enough that they think they feel that it is best to make you go in with a coordinated team. And
that's fair.
I kind of agree with that.
To respond to CJ DJ here, I am sure that the price for these initially are going to be very high. That just tends to be the way that it works with any game in-game market. New things cost more. Eventually, they will settle into where they're going to be. Now, it could still be high, but chances are usually it starts off high and then trickles down on most items. Kind of depends on the rarity and the difficulty to acquire, but 5 million for a start.
Honestly, I think that's low.
I do too. So it may go up first before it comes back down, but it may settle in the 3 to 5 million range. But again, it depends on how many you get, how often people are getting them, the whole supply and demand thing.
Well, also you're gonna have to remember right now there's going to be a flood because we have a promo R&D box sale, and that is also one of the places you can get the special resources from to craft these. So once the sale is over, it's only going to be coming from the people running elite TFOs, and yeah, I am. There will probably be a list. I would imagine the list is being fast built right now on which resource comes from which TFO. They did specify it. Certain TFOs will drop specific. It's not going to change what drops from where, and it's not random. So that way, if you're looking to build specific consoles, you and your friends can target specific TFOs.
Be handy. All right, so they also announced a new ship that is now available in the Infinity promotion R&D promo packs and the DOF promo packs, and it's the Constitution 3 Miracle Worker Cruiser. So this is the Neo Constitution from the most recent season of Star Trek Picard. It is a cruiser. I guess they decided on a cruiser because Captain Shaw is an engineering captain, and then the history of the Constitution class ship was historically from the cruiser line, even though the original Titan that was kind of turned into this was a science destroyer. Take that as you will, but that was their arguing. So it's a 4-4 ship. It comes with a universal console, the bioelectrical wave capacitor,
Passives are plus energy and electrical damage, plus weapon subsystem power, and then the active clicky is a bioelectrical wave. You and your team can surf along the wave for boost to power, turn rate, and flight speed. And any enemies that you pass through will take electrical damage. Console slots come with 5 engineering, 2 science, 4 tac, and 1 universal. The trait is called Thunder Run, and during Fire at Will, Beam Overload, Cloak, or Ambush, you get plus bonus beam damage, plus defense, and if you're in threatening stance, you get 150% threat gen. Seating is Lieutenant Universal, Lieutenant Commander TAC, Ensign TAC, Commander Engineering, Miracle Worker, and Lieutenant Commander Science Pilot. It also comes with new weapons. These are narrow angle beam phaser arrays. They have a 210 firing arc, but deal a little bit more damage. It's supposed to help with fire at will builds. That was the design behind it. The ship also has a battle cloak, which, take it or leave it, but it has a battle cloak. They also mentioned in the 10 forward, just as a miscellaneous, there are more quad cannons for the other energy types coming. They just have to work out how they want to bring them into the game. This could mean that they may be an event reward down the line, or they could be trying to figure out what ship they want to have them come in with. So keep an eye out for those.
And now we have sales, sales, sales. It's all on sale. But so they're doing RD promo sale. That's going from the 8th to the 29th. Also, there is a permanent price decrease for the promo boxes. They are getting down to 800 Zen for a 4-pack, 250 Zen for the single. But while they're on sale, it's 640 Zen for the 4-pack and 200 for the 1-pack. 1-pack for the single box. Also, they're doing a flagship sale. So if you're missing the flagships, you can come in here and buy the flagships. They are 25% off. The sale for the flagships are from June 8th to June 15th. And it does include T5 and T6 variants. So like I don't have the T6 or T5 variants of the Fortescue. You can see here 25% off. Yeah, you want a flagship, now's the time to buy them. The Lobby sale is also going on, also 20% off. That is also June 8th to June 15th. And it's just everything in the Lobby store that's on sale for 20% off. And then they are also doing a starter sale. And this one is from June 8th to June 9th. Is it that short?
That's what you put down.
I mean,
I'll look it up real quick.
It seems a little short, but
I bet you it's probably like the others, June 8th to June 29th.
Maybe I missed the two. Could be. I was typing a lot. Yeah. But okay, for the starter sale includes services, uniforms, personnel, and starter packs. So if you're needing anything to, uniforms. I mean, we all need uniforms. I mean, we got to look good while we're, running around shooting things.
It's the 15th.
It's the 15th. Okay, so June 9th to the 15th. But it's also if you need to get more services, more bridge officer slots, ship slots, dry dock slots, whatever. Now would be the time to buy them. 25% off.
Okay.
It's the news.
So that was a whole lot of talking, and I apologize. We wanted to highlight the consoles. That's a big deal. So we wanted to make sure that we gave you guys a lot of information. Now we're going to do something a little bit more fun. We're going to try and run the event TFOs. I don't know how far we're going to get. but we're going to try and run these. We'll start with Iuppiter, since that one, or however you say that. Iuppiter Irratus.
Probably Iuppiter Irratus.
Iuppiter, I like that. Iuppiter Irratus. I always have trouble saying that. All right, so I'm going to queue us up for that one first. We'll try to get through this and then maybe run the others. Some of these take longer than others. Wee woo?
We will.
Wee woo.
I do not have my ship mastered, but it's fine. So yes, we wanted to try to fly the flagships tonight for you. I grabbed a flagship I haven't flown yet.
The Terrans will be here. Engage their ships when you can. We've been working on...
as a matter of fact, I think I'm the only one that's in a flagship that has been flown. Tabby's is new, although here's a great view of the new skin for the Odyssey. Anybody can get that. All you have to do is have one of the Odyssey variants. Go to the ship customize officer and select the Odyssey preset. It is not called something new. It is just the Odyssey, but you have to select the preset to get access to the new parts. But that's what it looks like there. So that's Tabby in the Odyssey. Greebog is in the Bortiskew, and I'm over here in Scimitar.
We're just here for your data. Hand it over, and nobody will get hurt.
And yes, I'm firing the wrong weapons to be cannon.
Yeah, so am I.
This isn't over, Admiral. Believe that.
This is my Borg captain, so I'm actually set up to Borgify things and run around, you know, looking all Borgified. But for the event, I wanted to have the classic scimitar look. So,
I'm going towards Gamma.
Is anybody watching the middle?
I'm at Beta.
Okay, I'll let you keep Beta. Nobody's at Alpha. I guess I'll head that way. So, well, no, there's somebody over here. They're just not closing the portals.
I've had people do that. They just want to shoot things. It's fine.
That's not actually how you win this. You have to interact with the portals.
I know.
No, I'm saying that for our viewers. This is one of those TFOs where there's, you know, actually objectives you have to accomplish. The best way to run this is for one person to sit at Jupiter Station, and then one person take Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, and the fifth person act as a rapid response ship, where you go where you're needed.
Those rifts aren't going to close themselves.
There is no timer on this. You have to close the portals to advance it. But there's really only... I have it listed as 3 phases. Phase 1 being defeat the initial enemy, which we kind of blew through really quick. Phase 2 is what we're doing now, where you have to defend these areas and close the portals. And Phase 3 is a boss fight.
They're breaching our systems. To get those rifts under control.
I think one of the other scimitar in here is being the runner.
Yeah. He's our gopher. Go for this. Go for that.
I do like this ship. Because I'm on a Fed captain, hadn't thought about flying it before.
Hey, you know, we're all allied now. There's no reason that they wouldn't, you know, let a Fed captain fly one.
How would one organize to do the elites, Shadow? Is that what you're asking?
Need to get those rifts under control.
One way would be is if you're in a fleet, talk to your fleet, see if there's a time and that most of you can get together. Otherwise, some of the streamers, they will run some of the elite TFOs. Though you do need to be at a certain power level to be really okay in an elite.
Somewhere in the ballpark of 100,000 DPS would be about what you're looking for.
Rifts aren't going to close themselves.
Or over.
Well, yeah.
Though to get a good measurement on that, you need the proper TFO to get a good measurement. Because some TFOs have enough pauses that, like this one right now, we're not doing any damage, and except for the people over at beta already.
Did you like the little back door I put in your station?
Enterprise is back near projector base. The shield vessels are negating your attacks on the Enterprise. Take them out first.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. There we go. Everybody focus on the Enterprise.
Back in a bit. Don't go anywhere, okay?
No, you don't, Tilly.
I know I'm always looking for like a decent group to get together to run things at times. Because unfortunately, you're going to need 5 people. I know there are some people are powerful enough that, oh, I don't know, they can go in with 3, 4 people to do an elite TFO. I'm not sure I'm one of those people.
Don't even try to catch me.
Wow, that's a lot of explosions all at once there.
The Enterprise is going for Projector Alpha.
Back in a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Aw, she ran away.
Oh my god.
Well, gee.
Enterprise is back
And she's
near
back over at
projector
beta.
base.
Oh, I forgot to... I have to fix that.
Ow.
The shield vessels are negating your attacks on the Enterprise. Take them out first.
We've still got a shield ship up. There it goes.
Fine.
Everybody on the Enterprise.
You know what? I'm done here.
And she ran away.
Well done. We set the
Goodbye. That's probably true of most people, Shadow. Pug groups, even if the 5 individual people know what they're doing, it's hard to organize. So even 5 experienced players that are pugging may have trouble getting things rolling, especially if there's a lot of objectives. Let's do Borg disconnected. We will.
Just a moment.
I was
We
on a
will.
load. 3. Loading Soul. One would think Soul would load faster than this. Wee woo.
Depends on how many people are there. Okay. All right, moving right along.
See, I was like, while normally anymore in advanced, I can help power through an advanced group, even if people seem to have no understanding of what the TFO objectives are.
She survived.
So I sort of understand the,
Now she is compelling any
yeah.
vessels with disconnected Borg to return for
Elite is a
re-assimilation.
different beast.
You must
Yeah.
upload a virus to the disconnected
All right,
Borg
I can
ships
skip this.
before they reach these towers.
Yeah, we're still in the briefing mode, though. I guess I'll go right.
Sure, go right.
Man, I love the Odyssey. I just think that's a pretty ship.
I'm loving this ship so much. I'm going straight.
Looks like
I'm gonna
you
try and hold
have
it.
Trinity with you. Here, I'll go right. See, I probably would not take this ship into an elite. I don't know that I have it ready.
I could probably go. I mean, but I've been working on this ship for a long time.
Oh, stop.
The big things to get ready for an elite, I mean, know your ship, know how to pilot your ship, and then try to upgrade all of your weapons to at least Mark 15, if not elite. All that would,
Piloting your ship can... Well, yeah, knowing how to pilot your ship will do more for you than a lot of gear can.
So the phases here on this TFO, we've highlighted this before, but since we're here, phase 1 is what we're doing now. We're rescuing the discombobulated Borg. These are supposed to be collective, or sorry, what are they called? They're not the collective, the cooperative Borg.
We're collecting them.
We have an optional objective here of saving 15 of them while we're fighting the regular Borg. Phase 2 you will see here shortly. It is the exact same thing. We have another optional objective of another 15. We're still saving the cooperative. We're still fighting Borg, but we're also going to be fighting Undine. And the Undine will also summon these little portals that will tractor and kind of hold other ships in place, and we can close those portals.
I should have put a note into the which of the elite TFOs exactly give off the special stuff.
Do we know yet?
They put out a list. It is known. I'm pulling up the blog post about it now.
8472 is approaching.
It should be in there.
This is
think.
so much easier. So much easier when I have a partner over here.
So there's space particles, ground particles, space metals, ground metals, space gases, ground gases. I thought they said maybe it was just in the 10 forward that they said which, well, maybe not which, but said the generally.
All right, so here's phase 2 with the Undine. And then phase 3 adds the Voth. So we still deal with the portals and the Borg and the Undine. But then we have Voth ships that are coming in, and they will fire Borg killer torpedoes that will one-shot a cube.
So there's 6 TFOs that they'll come from.
Evasive for the win.
Or maybe the... I'm sure someone's building the list of all of that already. I would check the wiki.
That's a good source. Wiki tends to have lots of good information.
It may not be there yet, but I'm sure. Here, we'll probably have more information next week, because I'm sure by then, someone's figured it out by then.
Yeah, we can definitely tag that in next week. We were supposed to do the recruits today, but there ended up being so much news and so much to talk about, we decided we'd hold off on the recruits. Oh, that's going to hurt. So that's why we're doing the TFOs today. Kind of goes against what we said earlier in the week, but
It's fine.
I just didn't figure we'd have enough time to do the recruits.
Well, yeah, there's 4 different types of recruits to go over material, so.
Well, technically, there's 6. Because you got to have 3 different deltas.
But that's all one recruit type.
True.
Technically. Tabby, how's everything going over there?
Going good. I hate the dot. I hate the freaking dot though. Pissing me off.
That is where hazard emitters is handy.
Yeah, this TFO, you almost have to have. I mean, hazard emitters is always handy, but in this, you almost have to have it. How are you liking the Lexington?
I absolutely love this ship. At first, I was falling in love with the Clark, but now
I'm detecting something on an intercept course. It is
Yeah, I
quite
love the
sizable.
Odyssey. Both the way it looks and the way that ship flies. The Lexington is great. It's a full spec ship, so even though it's not a promo ship or a legendary, it's still a full spec. It's Miracle Worker, so you get the extra universal console. Did we save that cube?
The one I just blew up?
No, the one that was right before that one. The disconnected one.
gotta say, having the prolonged engagement launchers with the wide angle, the wide angle photons is very, very nice.
I used to run with the wide angle quantums that you get off of. I think it's one of the Connie
The Vault have a
variants.
ship designed to fight Borg.
Actually, I think it's off the
Destroy it.
Sovereign
Borg
variants.
attacks the cooperative.
Is it a Sovereign? I used to run with it, and I stopped in favor of some set torpedoes instead. But they're not bad. I pretty universally use the dark matter these days.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, it's like best in slot, right?
Yeah.
Well, a big part of it is using it for the set. Technically, the Maelstrom is become the new big thing.
Has it picked up? I haven't
Yes.
kept up with it. I'm using it. I even
You do
it on
have
this
to
ship.
manually trigger it. But that's mainly because you need to get stacks before you fire it off. Otherwise, it won't perform quite as well. Which is fine. I mean, it just means you have to be a little more thoughtful on your usage.
Well, I mean, that's what they wanted. That was the whole point of them even creating those torpedoes to begin with. They wanted people to have a more particular play style with it. So I'm glad to hear that it worked. Hopefully that means we'll get more Maelstrom style down the road.
See, if people want to think the game is dead or dying or going into maintenance mode, I think the Maelstrom torpedo is a good argument for not. The advanced consoles is another good reason for not. They would not be investing that much time and effort to bring in a whole new family of yeah.
Well, and introducing a whole new way to play the game. I mean,
yeah.
In essence.
It's new mechanics.
Yeah, this game is far from dead.
Now, do I wish that they would do more, like introduce more factions and more affordable ships? Sure, I'm on that bandwagon. I would absolutely love a Cardassian faction. But no, the game is not dead, not by a long shot.
I just every so often hear that speculation. I'm like, no, not yet. I mean, yes, sometimes I am disappointed with not hearing any news about stuff, but I mean, that doesn't mean they aren't working on stuff. I'm just anxious to get the new stuff.
Then we get weeks like today where we're blown away with news and announcements.
Yeah. And I think Kale kind of said in the 10 forward, in 2 weeks we will be finding out about the summer event and the summer event ship. Because he was trying to get someone in to interview, and he had to postpone it this last time because it wanted to talk about the advanced consoles. So brought in the devs who put together the advanced consoles. And then was like looking at this calendar and was like, well, we're going to have to postpone it a month more because the next one is going to be the summer event ship.
We actually just got the optional under the wire there. That was pretty cool. Okay, so this is the final phase. We have 3 dreadnoughts that come up. There's that one right there, the Queen Decahedron, the Citadel Dreadnought, which is that one there, and the Nikkor bioship.
Typically, people go after the Voth ship first.
This is your chance.
It's a really big target.
Can't miss it.
I'm sorry, I said it's the Tethys Bio Dreadnought. That's what that one is. Oh, something blew me up. Oh, I think that was the Queen. You have not heard the last of us. Gotta watch out for the Queen's torpedoes. They ignore shields.
I was wondering also if feedback pulse.
Oh yeah, that too. Well, I was shooting at the other ship, but I suppose.
Well, it depends on how much AOE you have on.
That's true. And she's down.
Thank you for your assistance. We will assist the disconnected Borg you rescued.
Marks.
Okay, we are not going to be able to hit both of the other two because I do have to work tomorrow. So we've got Swarm and Synth Wave. Do you guys have a preference?
With our ships, let's do Swarm.
Okay, Swarm it is.
I say that because turning these we're all in fairly large ships. Turning these ships in Synth Wave might be a challenge.
That's true.
We woo.
Wheel.
Alrighty, going. Alrighty, so Synth Wave is the one that we're not doing. There are 3 stages. In stage
The
1, you
Herc are
beam
about
up
to
survivors
overrun
and
this.
you take them to nearby ships. The transports give you 3 points each. Other ships give you points equal to the number of crew. So if you only beam over 2 crew members, or only beam people over twice, then you get 2 points. If you beam over 3, then you get 3 points. I lost my train of thought. This stage, so phase 1 has multiple rounds to it. Each round the circle shrinks, so you get smaller and smaller, and then during the final round, you actually can just beam survivors over to the starbase. When you do that, it's the same as beaming to a transport, so you get 3 points for that. Stage 2, you want to defend the escaping transports. Stage 3, you're then defending the escaping picket ships, and once that's done, the TFO is completed. And again, that's the one that we're not doing. The one we are doing is called Swarm. And this is where Greebog very often has ships that he summons that wander off in weird directions.
Only if I have pets. I don't have any pets
So-
on this one.
I do. And they'll probably wander off too. Phase 1 is we are sending power to these derelict Dominion ships, or not derelict, but damaged Dominion ships. There are 9 of them in total.
And then next, we send power to the
Well done.
satellites here.
Yep. I got this one. I'm sitting on top of it.
Going to the... I'm trying to turn around to the one out on the edge here. Been a while
You should
since
be
I
used to that.
flew a brick.
You used to fly big at cruisers.
I did.
The satellite is back online.
So the trick I've learned with this TFO is to, if you sit on the satellite right after the end of the previous phase, you can get it powered up before the enemies come in and start attacking. Which then means you can get pretty much, if you have everyone goes sits on one of the satellites, you can technically get them all powered up as the enemies are warping in. And then you just have to finish off the enemies and you can go to the next phase.
It also helps if you have other friends that they're shooting at.
Friends. Who has friends? Of course, I've watched the one Thor movie too many times. Anytime someone says friends, I always think of what Hulk says in it. And friends stay. As he's yelling at Thor to stay.
Herc ship spotted at escape
That
route
was
Gamma. Get over there.
Ragnarok, wasn't it?
Yes.
I loved that movie.
All right, so we've got a 7-minute timer for this phase 3. The lines here will highlight when ships are on them, and then you'll have Herc show up to try and destroy the ships that are escaping. As you can see, there are 3 lines of traffic: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and currently Alpha is not being used. The satellites that you fixed in the previous round will drop tractor beam mines, but they have to be triggered, and you have to kind of fly by the satellites for that to be active. There is kind of a second round to this. At a certain point, a dreadnought will show up, a Herc dreadnought, and they'll start using all 3 lanes at once. They say something like, we're speeding up the evacuation, all 3 lanes will be utilized. But it's very much the same thing. You're just defending the ships that are trying to escape. It's not really hard, and it's done when the timer runs down. Ultimately, the number of points and marks that you earn is dependent on how many
ships heading down
refugee
escape
ships
route
escape.
Alpha. Protect them.
Also, if you have not checked out the blog,
Be careful.
they put up a video for what the remastering of the Odyssey,
Escape route Beta.
so that way
Protect
you
the
could have the
refugee
Enterprise F up in game. So they put out like you would normally see a ship video or cutscene type thing in a TV show. That they did that with the Enterprise F for in game. So that was kind of cool to see. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend going and finding that. My phone apparently is collecting coins.
The Odyssey is such a pretty ship. I still am stunned that it was player designed.
And it was short-lived in the STO canonization of yeah.
But it still was.
Yeah, I know. I was like, and it's the Enterprise F, and now it's not.
It's gone.
It's fine.
Herc ship spotted at escape route Gamma. Get over there.
Doesn't mean we won't see more Odyssey-class ships in the future. Provided we get, the legacy show everybody's hoping for.
I mean, there will definitely be more STO. Well, not STO. Star Trek shows coming. What and when is the question?
We're speeding up
That's
the
always
evacuation.
going to be the question.
All lanes will be utilized now. Head to escape route Beta. Protect the refugee ships.
It would be cool to have another
Herc ship
show
spotted at escape route
centered
Gamma.
on the
Get over
Enterprise.
there.
I mean, we haven't had that since the next gen.
So, can I say something I saw that's non-Star Trek related?
I guess. What you got?
I saw an article saying it's officially announced the Babylon 5 movie is coming.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to say this. You can, string me up later if you need to.
Refugee
but
ships heading down
I
escape
always
route
thought
Alpha.
the
Protect
STO
them.
engine itself would have actually made a better Babylon 5 game. Babylon 5 as a series was way more centered on combat than anything we ever got in Star Trek, other than the Dominion War. I mean, the whole premise of B5 was that they had a war and they didn't want to have another one.
Yeah.
And yet, they have at least 3 more during the course of the series. They just can't get away from it. Worst peace station ever.
Gamma. Get over there.
Well, no, okay, you need a peace station if there's all kinds of war going on. The only way, yeah. Otherwise, if it was constantly everything was at peace, you wouldn't need the station now, would you? Everyone's happy and goes home.
Is it animated?
I don't know.
CJ just said it's an animated movie.
I mean, maybe that is what I heard. I just saw the article. I didn't really get a chance to delve into it.
Alpha. Protect them.
So hey,
I wonder who they're going to get to voice
the characters. Or if it's a reboot, that could be interesting.
I'm all for anything. Give me sci-fi. That yeah. Though I found it funny, someone put out a thing making fun of Star Wars and Star Trek and their worlds. And it was like, first they went through Star Wars, like, oh, I'm from an ice planet. Oh, well, I'm from a jungle planet. Kind of nice here. And, oh, I'm from a desert planet. There's sand everywhere.
Spotted at escape route Gamma. Get over there.
And then they go to switch to the Star Trek. Like, oh, well, we're a utopian that, it's the death penalty if you step on a flower.
Oh, but that was such a good. Justice is such an underrated episode of the Next Gen. And not just because everybody's walking around half naked.
I'm gonna confess that when I did my when I started my hospital recovery TNG watch through, I skipped that episode.
Why?
Came up that episode and I'm like, nope.
Okay, you gotta tell me why. Like, what's the issue?
I just with the death penalty for stepping on flowers, I just can't.
That's so the whole play on that episode is supposed to be it's basically a diatribe on the negative effects of that type of society. Like, that is a true utopian, socialist regime. Like, everybody is equal. There's no money at all. But what's the downside? Well, you've got these people in control that have unlimited power. Like, there is nothing they can't do. So they set that up. Is it stupid to get, your life taken away for stepping on the grass? Sure. But that's the way that society functions when you have the people in power have no one above them that they answer to. And it was supposed to be explaining that, and then Picard's line at the end about there can be no justice so long as law is absolute.
I was like, you can pull the whole socialist part of that. I was like, it has more to do with the law side than anything, like, and absolute power.
You're right.
Than any kind of, yeah.
Actually, the Federation is a socialist government. That was a bad choice of words. It's more of the unlimited power thing. That there's no balance in that society.
Yeah, absolute. Yeah, absolute power and laws like that. Though it's meant to make you think and question how much power we're giving our authority figures.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was there for. Good recovery. Nice correction. Anyway,
I understand the message. I just don't like the way they deliver it.
That's fair. I mean, as I've said before, if we all liked the same thing, what a boring world we would live in. But I absolutely adore that episode. Now, you want to talk about episodes I don't like? Let's jump ahead to Voyager and do Threshold.
Oh, I don't think anybody likes that episode.
I don't
anyway,
remember
that's
it, so.
going to do it for the show for today. Next week, we are going to be highlighting the different types of recruits. And then the week after that, we should have information on the summer event coming up. Once we know more about when the summer event is going to be coming, we are also going to be announcing our anniversary event, which should take place around July 13th, possibly July 6th.
we're going to do the anniversary on whatever day the summer event is not falling on.
You mean starting on?
Yeah, starting on. Our anniversary event, this will be our 3rd year anniversary. We're pretty excited about it, and our tradition has kind of become a PvP
blowing the
match.
snot out of each other.
Yes.
For fun.
And we very often invite our viewers to tag along. We can form multiple teams, and we'll do usually we'll do space, and then sometimes 1 or 2 matches of ground as well, and just have a good time of it. None of us excel at PvP, but we have a good time anyway. And Greebog had a suggestion for this one, that instead of doing our normal ships, we're going to be doing shuttlecraft PvP.
At least some of it.
So that could be a lot of fun. I'm trying to figure out how I want to build for that, if I can, if there is such thing. And I don't even know. I don't know how effective cloaking will be either. My first thought was, take a scimitar, or not a scimitar, but the
Scorpion.
the Romulan, the Scorpion fighters in there, because they cloak. And then I'm like, well, but you're so squishy. Like, if you get fired on at all when you're cloaking or decloaking, you're gonna die.
I don't know though. I mean, if we're all shuttles.
Yeah, Ryza should be good there, Tim. And thank you for the follow. I meant to mention that earlier in Space.
Ice Knight, thank you for the follow. Shadow, thank you for the follow. And Tim Higgins, thank you for the follow. Also, again, Grumpy Old Nord, thank you again for the raid.
Just to close out real quick, once again, next Thursday, we're doing our episode on the recruits. Tune in to have fun with that. And then Monday night is our fun night. We just show up and blow stuff up, and we'll help people level or run the event or whatever we need to do. And again, just have fun. I don't have anything else. Do either of you?
I am good.
We're doing recruits next week.
Yep. All right. Well, as always, I will see you out there.
Have fun, be safe, don't set yourselves on fire.
Live long and prosper, hang around, and we will raid somebody.